wearing mask, this kind of tradition, very long time ago. For instance, in the court, if you serve the Khan food, you have to wear mask. And then also if you do some offering to God, and you should wear mask. I just wondered whether there was kind of a Tibetan tradition. I was wondering where the tradition came from. So I was wondering whether in Tibet it had that kind of tradition.
You see it sometimes in ritual offerings, in major rituals, that people will wear a mask. Yeah, I hadn't really thought about that. I think it's not something. I don't know it in the context of offering to important people, but then if that happened, I think it's something that would probably disappear quite a while ago. But yeah, I think that's seen more as an expression of respect, and so there is also the question of your breath being potentially polluting because you're an ordinary human being, as it were, and the deity is at a higher level. That might well. I mean, I think this whole question of the much greater social acceptability of mass in East Asian cultures generally is an interesting one. I don't know if anybody's looked very much about how that developed, but it seems to have been true for quite a while back, and to link to this idea that you have some responsibility if you're sick to protect other people against possible infection, which doesn't seem to. Eliza. Yeah.
I was just going to say that, I mean, in terms of modern, just very superficial kind of cross-cultural psychology definitions and theories about these sorts of things would basically point to independent, interdependent dichotomies between cultures, and there is a clear kind of, I mean, you notice that impetus in living in places in Southeast Asia where you see people that are wearing masks for common colds and all sorts of things, and that is very much an impetus that they are looking to protect other people. And there's a very strong orientation to how they're maintaining that sort of harmony within their general community, as opposed to when you hear the discourses sort of.
We lost you, Elisa. It's probably the connection.
There's an issue, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's really an interesting
coming out of psychology kind of independent, interdependent kind of categorization of cultures, but it's more in terms of
the connection is very unstable. Yeah.
Well, it's always like this when we have online. Okay.
And responsibilities are an interesting thing that I think in more independent cultures, we're sort of very strong in our rights and we're a little bit less strong in our responsibilities to other people.
I think that's the way I've always read it. Yes. Okay.
Well, it's individualism versus commonality. I guess it's been always a discussion. Yes, yeah. So that kind of discussion, came up only recently in Mongolian context as well. So it's in, in the 13th century when the European European travelers visited Mongol court. So they did realize, when the Khan or the guest, distinguished guest, came, the food serving is always, the servant or the woman, whoever served the food, would wear mask. Yes, yeah, fantastic. So, are you planning to publish somewhere, or would?
Well, I hadn't immediately thought of it. I mean, do you have any plans to publish the papers from the symposium?
Yes, we do have. Yeah. Yes, Maya.
Yeah, there are. We talk about a possibility to, to put together a co-edited volume, consisting of the papers here, and possibly we may invite other people depending on the discussion at some point. So there is a plan for that, but we need to talk more about that, the precise plan. And
Yeah, well, I'd be happy to be part of that. I doubt whether, I mean, that aside, it's been quite a stimulating experience to think through some of this, and I suspect my idea is going to move on in some ways from this, and I'll be working a bit more on some of this material. But yeah, it would be nice to see this available, I think. And
yeah, I think
also to see some of the other papers which I missed, including yours.
Yeah, from, there is a gap, I think, to look at this interconnection between language, health, and well-being from different perspective and interdisciplinary or disciplinary or interdisciplinary approaches to this, and looking at a range of issues which are of interest for linguists, and other, people. So it seems to me it's quite a fascinating, broad topic of great significance and practical significance as well, I suppose.
Yeah, yes, you're right. It's quite timely. Yeah.
Timely as well. Yeah. Good.
Okay.
So we have to have a break, I suppose. Otherwise, we continue talking about interesting stuff.
Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you very much, Geoffrey, and thanks, Elisa, for your questions and comments. Yeah, and yes, hopefully see you later.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah.